The Royal Rumble just ended. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Real Take Wrestling, this review of the 2022 Royal Rumble, and what a night it was. Just to get started, obviously, we know who won. Ronda Rousey returned and won the Royal Rumble on the women's side, and Brock Lesnar ended up winning on the men's side. Overall, my overall thoughts on the show, a bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, there were some disappointments that I will highlight throughout this stream. By the way, guys, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Can't believe I botched that after saying it so many times. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please be sure to leave a 5-star review. So the Royal Rumble, again, was a bit of a mixed bag. I thought there was a lot of good, but not a lot of great. And I think that's probably the big takeaway. For a night that is meant to be so big, for a night that's meant to be the most exciting night in pro wrestling, the most exciting night in sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, there were parts that honestly fell flat. And a lot of it was in the men's Rumble, and I will get to that. But first, we got to start off with the first match on the card, the match that went on first, the match that opened the show. Roman Reigns defending his WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship against Seth freaking Rollins. Roman Reigns comes out first, which was very odd considering the fact that usually the champion's supposed to come out second. But Roman Reigns came out first. We were all wondering why that might be the case. And we found out because Seth Rollins, one more troll to Roman Reigns. And by the way, I'm liking the way that they're kind of teasing Seth Rollins kind of turning into like the Joker. He's just gone insane. Actually, like that makes his character a lot more compelling than it used to be. But so Seth Rollins comes out dressed as a Shield member. He came out in his Shield garb. The Shield music hit. Roman was pissed. He was not happy with this at all, and you could visibly see him seething at the sight of Seth Rollins, making a mockery of the tribal chief, making a mockery of Roman Reigns, of everything he's built over the past 2 years. Roman Reigns was mad, but it actually didn't help him. It actually helped Seth Rollins, especially early on in the match. Seth Rollins controlled a lot of pacing in this match. He actually was able to distract Roman, get him off his game. Roman was taking too long with moves. Roman was taking too long thinking about what to do next. It allowed Seth Rollins to take advantage. Rollins was actually able to pick Roman up for a powerbomb, slam him through the announce table, and then in the ring, he got him with a sling blade and a curb stomp. and a very close to, I might add, a very close to. Then Rollins goes up and hits a big-time frog splash for the closest 2 count I've ever seen. It should have been 3. Everything should have said that count should have been 3. It was a last 2 count. And, early on, it was a very action-packed match. I actually loved this as an opener. It was everything it needed to be. And Rollins looked great in the beginning. But, as always must happen, Roman Reigns conquered Seth Rollins, but not in the way you might think. And this is the part that's gotten a lot of people, especially on Twitter, a lot of people have mixed opinions about the ending of this match. So, ending of this match was Roman Reigns finally gets his serious win back. Roman Reigns has Seth Rollins in a guillotine, and Rollins is choking out. Rollins is passing out. Rollins is out. Referee lifts his hand up to check on him one last time before ending the match. Rollins' hand goes up, and it just how happens to fall on the rope. And Roman, after Seth Rollins had trolled him the entire match, after Seth Rollins had made a mockery of his Universal title reign, had made a mockery of the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns says, "Screw it. I'm not letting go." Roman Reigns refuses to let go of the guillotine, and that leads to a 5 count from the referee and a disqualification. Roman Reigns gets disqualified, keeps his Universal title. Obviously, you can't. The title can't change hands on DQs, but Roman Reigns keeps his Universal title. But Rollins still gets to say that Roman hasn't beaten him. And that's still a thorn in the side of Roman Reigns. So much so that after the match, Seth Rollins is laughing. So much so, after the match, when Seth Rollins is laughing at the Tribal Chief, Roman goes to the outside, gets a steel chair, and just like Seth Rollins did 8 years ago when he ended the Shield, Roman Reigns takes a steel chair to his former Shield brethren. Bam! Nails him right in the back as he has his back turned, just like Roman Reigns did 8 years ago. And, man, you could see the emotion on Roman Reigns' face. He wails on Seth. The chair is broken. Roman Reigns not victorious, but still the champion, and he didn't care. He took care of business. Up next, we had the Women's Royal Rumble match. Now, obviously, I spoke about the big surprise that happened, but out first, we had we had Sasha Banks at number 1, and then Melina making her return at number 2. It was great to see Melina come out. Got a huge pop as she came out. And this Rumble was, I think, a lot more exciting than the Men's Rumble, honestly. Like, I was way more excited for it because of the factor of you had a lot of surprises that you knew were coming, like Lita, like Mickie James, obviously. And then you had the surprises you didn't really know that were coming. Melina was one of them, and they got it right off the bat. Melina and Sasha Banks had a little bit of a go at it in the beginning. Tamina comes in. Kelly made it showing. Aaliyah came in, and then Liv Morgan. That was the first 6 in the match. Liv Morgan was obviously my pick. She ended up lasting 30 minutes in this Rumble. And honestly, this Rumble was great because it was exactly what the Royal Rumble is supposed to be. Action-packed. It was nonstop. Stuff was always happening, and you love to see that. And then on top of it all, there were surprises. There were so many surprises. Michelle McCool came out. Kelly came out. You had Sonya Deville obviously make a return. Cameron came out as part and got eliminated actually by Sonya Deville as part of the storyline that's developing with Naomi and Sonya Deville. Carmella, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, of course, the reigning defending, I should say, WWE SmackDown Women's World Champion, Charlotte Flair, entering the Rumble because that's what she does. Ivory showed up, which was crazy. The Bella Twins. Mickie James. Oh my God. Mickie freaking James. Can we talk about the music? Mickie James comes out. Not only is she not WWE crazy, I'm Mickie James. She's Impact Wrestling's Mickie James. She's hardcore country. Mickie James came out to hardcore country with the Impact World Championship around her waist, with the announce team actually acknowledging Impact Wrestling. Freaking amazing. Like, that was just crazy to see. So that was great to see. And then we had the shocking twist. Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan were both eliminated pretty early, man. Bianca ended up, I think, lasting. She lasted until the final, I think, 6 or something. But man, Liv Morgan was like the 17th person eliminated. It just doesn't make her look strong. It just doesn't make her look strong. And all those losses, all those close calls, all those matches with Becky Lynch, for what, son? That's all I'm saying. Then Bianca Belair obviously doesn't get her heat back, doesn't get her win back. So we're going to have to see where that rolls around. Anyway, I mentioned the surprise. Big surprise here. Ronda Rousey came in at 28, electrified the Royal Rumble, and at the end, it was Charlotte and Ronda Rousey at the final 2, and Ronda Rousey eliminated Charlotte Flair to become the new number 1 contender for whichever Raw Women's World or whichever WWE Women's World Championship she chooses, and she gets the main event WrestleMania. I mean, the match is obvious. It's Lynch versus Rousey. The only thing that's really in question is the babyface heel dynamic, because you could definitely argue that the right thing, which is that Becky Lynch as a face, the man Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, was the match. You know, as much as Big Time Bex is entertaining and all, but it's really the man Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. So maybe they'll figure that out and turn Becky face, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens there. Speaking of Becky Lynch did, in fact, defend her WWE Raw Women's World Championship against Doudrop, a.k.a. Piper Niven. And, you know, coming off of how great the Women's Royal Rumble was, you know, it's unfortunate this match kind of fell, I think, into a weird spot where it was just kind of like in the death spot. Like there were 2 death spots, I should say, matches in this card. One was this match. The other one was the mixed tag match with Beth Phoenix, Edge taking on Miz and Maurice. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But, you know, they went out there and they did, I think, their best. The crowd was kind of dead for it. It did not help that the WrestleMania pyrotechnics that went off when Rousey won were apparently set the WrestleMania sign on fire. So people had to be moved out of their sections. It was a whole thing. It distracted the audience, distracted people online. I know it distracted me as I was watching it because the sign was on fire. They literally had to raise it down, or they had to lower it down and put the fire out with fire extinguishers and whatnot. So dangerous time. Like the sign was literally melting. It was crazy. So that kind of unfortunately overshadowed the match. They had a pretty good showing overall, though. I mean, They did their best. Becky Lynch ended up retaining in 13 minutes after doing the manhandle slam from the top rope. Becky Lynch retains and likely going to go face Ronda Rousey for the world title in the main event of Mania. Anyway, moving on. The match that has been almost 20 years in the making. The next big thing. The Beast, the Conqueror, the reigning, defending WWE World Champion Brock Lesnar taking on Bobby Lashley, the Almighty. They had a great promo package that played before this match. And I mean, like, what else can you say? Like, this is really great. Bobby Lashley ended up being down for the count, but the referee was knocked down, and out came Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out, spears Brock Lesnar, and then he looks over at Paul Heyman, and he tells Paul Heyman, "Give it to me." Paul Heyman handed Roman Reigns the WWE Championship, and Roman takes it, absolutely clocks Brock Lesnar in the face with it, knocking him out. And by the time Roman and Paul Heyman, by the way, apparently turned on Brock Lesnar, so that happened. By the time they were down on the ramp, Bobby Lashley had already had his hand over Lesnar. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley, the almighty WWE champion once again. Interesting stuff, people. Interesting stuff. Bobby Lashley, once again WWE champion. Brock Lesnar has a gripe. that he's going to immediately, basically, we'll talk about that. I've got thoughts about that. I have thoughts about that. Anyway, next match was the mixed tag team match, which received pretty, it was up and down. It was up and down. Maurice did a lot of great stuff in this match. Maurice actually hit a lot of great moves. The whole thing was she was even shocked how good she was doing, but she did great. The match ended with the match was about to end with a double skull-crushing finale from The Miz and Maurice onto Edge, but that got reversed, and then Beth Phoenix and Edge ended up hitting a double spear on Miz, and then they got both of them up for the Glamazon Slam. 1, 2, 3. Edge and Beth Phoenix victorious over Miz and Maurice. Again, fine match. It fell into that spot where everyone was just kind of at that point, I think it was 10:30. Everyone was really tired. People just wanted to get to the ending, the men's rumble, and end the show, honestly. I think if there was a show, there was a match that was going to be cut, it would probably be this one. Moving on, the men's Royal Rumble. Not as great, not as good, not as much heat for this match as there was for the women's match, honestly. AJ Styles and Nakamura started things off. AJ Styles quickly eliminated Nakamura. So that happened. Austin Theory was in there. Austin Theory lasted nearly 30 minutes, by the way, in this match. So, Austin McMahon Theory, he was almost there. Big story here was Johnny Knoxville eliminated by Sami Zayn after a Helluva Kick. Thank God, but then Sami Zayn got eliminated. The conspiracy is on. Mastermind Chad Gable, after Omos had come in and eliminated 3 people right off the bat, Chad Gable comes in, the mastermind. He rallies the troops behind him, and they come up with this master plan to eliminate Omos. And everyone in the ring, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Ridge Holland, Ricochet, Chad Gable, and Dominic Mysterio all get up together, and they were able to eliminate Omos. So Big E came out 26. We all wanted to talk about this. Big E came out 26, and he was unceremoniously just eliminated by Riddle and Randy Orton. Didn't really even have a showing. 0 eliminations. So you got to wonder, why was he even there, right? But, yeah, that happened. Unfortunately. Sucks, doesn't it? Bad Bunny lasted longer than Big E. So did Shane McMahon. In fact, Shane McMahon was in the Final 4. Criminal. And, yeah, I don't know what to say. Last 2 were... Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Bad Bunny, he did some great stuff, right? Bad Bunny was great in this, obviously, and they also booked him to be, apparently the greatest thing ever. Bad Bunny's, the greatest wrestler ever, by the way. He's only wrestled, 1 match, 2 matches now, and he's, the greatest thing ever, according to WWE booking, but, yeah, wish you could book Big E that way, but it's a story for another day. Oh, also another big thing of note, Kofi, it looks like either this was planned, or I don't know whether it was planned or not, but Kofi tried to do his Rumble spot. The spot was he leaped over the top rope onto the outside, and he was supposed to land onto the barricade without both feet touching the floor, but both feet immediately touched the floor, so it seems like that just didn't go well. We still love Kofi. Still big love to Kofi. Kevin Owens had a good showing. That's another note I have. What else? What else happened? Then we have, Final 4, Shane McMahon. Who else was in the Final 4? It was Shane McMahon, Brock Lesnar, who came out number 30. You got to wonder who gave him his Royal Rumble card. Riddle, and I believe it was Drew McIntyre, of course. Drew McIntyre. So McIntyre and Lesnar were the final 2. They had a nice little go at it, but at the end, we all knew who it was going to be. Brock wins the Rumble. Brock's going to face Roman probably. Yeah, and that's been the card, man. What a weird ending. I mean, it was predictable. We all knew it was probably going to happen. I'm glad the Women's Rumble didn't go on last, because the Women's Rumble actually had the crowd, which was great. The crowd was actually into it, which I love. Men's Rumble, not so much. Again, you see why it was kind of an up and down night. Big E not having any showing, not even having a strong showing in the Rumble. That irks me. Doesn't make me feel great. But that's what it is. Overall, because everyone loves star ratings, right? Let's go. Let's see. Out of 5 stars, I'll give this. It's a solid thing. A solid 3. Solid 3-star. It's the Royal Rumble. That's actually pretty low for the Royal Rumble. 3.5. Sure. 3.5. Why not? Anyway, guys, I've been Umar for Real Take Sports and Real Take Wrestling. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos. I'm probably going to put some more videos out soon. Until next time, everyone, keep it real.